Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach bruchim habayim. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This week we'll be reading Parashat Chukat. And we know in this parasha we have a few significant things. The beginning of the parasha starts with Para Aduma, and then we have the passing of Miriam, where the Jews lost their water source, and we have Moshe and Aaron hitting the rock, and Moshe got punished for hitting the rock that he couldn't enter Eretz Yisrael, and then we have the passing of Aharon a Kohen. But after this, the Jews, for the second time in this parasha, complained to Moshe Rabbeinu and said, "Why did you bring us to the Midbar? Did you bring us to the Midbar just for us to die? We don't have water, we don't have food, we don't like the man, we don't like what's going on over here. We should have been back in Mitzrayim." Unfortunately, this is not the first time that we have this in the Midbar, in the story of the desert. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu got very angry with Klal Yisrael and he decided to punish them. And the punishment this time was very harsh. He sent serpents and poisonous snakes to walk around in the Midbar, and it started killing the Jews. Till finally the Jews went to Moshe, begged them for Mechila, please ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to forgive us because we have sinned and we have complained. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe to do? The Pasuk says, Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, Aseh lecha saraf, make yourself a serpent, Vesim oto al nes, make yourself a copper serpent, V'sim oto al nes, and put it on a stick. V'haya kol hanashuch ve'ara oto v'chai. Anyone who looks at the serpent will live. Chazal teach us over here, what does it mean? The serpent doesn't have the power to kill or to give people life, but it means HaKadosh Baruch Hu was saying, anyone who looks up to me, anyone who looks up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu will survive, and anyone who doesn't will not survive, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that gives the power to the serpent. There is a story from the Rosh Yeshiva of Hebron Yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael, Reb Chaim Sarna. His wife, his Rebbetzin, went through the Shoah, went through the Holocaust, and she survived. But listen to this fascinating story. How did she survive? It was in the beginning of the war. She was a young girl, and everyone was running away, and the Nazis, Yamach Shemam, was counting the Jews, collecting the Jews to end. And what happened was she escaped and she started running, till finally she sees this nice villa, this big house. And she runs to the front door and she starts knocking, scared, worried. A person opens the door, and even though the person was in plain clothing, she realized right away the mistake she did. Tall, mustache, blue eyes, blonde hair. She knew right away this is a Nazi, Yamach Shemo, and she did the biggest mistake. And not only that, it wasn't just a regular Nazi, it was the head commander of that town. The commander looks at this girl, looks at this Jewish girl and starts laughing and says, "You just made my day. You just made my life easier. Instead of me chasing you, you came to my front door. And I'm going to end your faith." But then he tells her, he says, "Hold on. How did you get to the front door of my house?" She's like, "What do you mean?" She turns around and says, "Look at the path. I walked." He goes, "But I have countless of guard dogs. These dogs are trained to attack and kill on sight, no questions asked. The second they see someone like you, they see someone who's not a Nazi, they kill them. How in the world did you cross them?" She turns around and she sees, wow, there's actually these dogs, these killer dogs that should have eaten her up. She said, "I don't know." He says, "You know what? Let's do like this," because he was very surprised. "I'm going to let you sleep in my house for the night. But tomorrow morning, you're going to walk out of this front door and I'm going to let you go. But I know that these killer dogs will eat you up alive, not even a question. But just in case, maybe you have a special protection and they do not attack you, I promise you I'll let you stay in my home till the end of the war." Okay. She goes to sleep. She obviously doesn't sleep that night. She's scared. All she could think of was these dogs eating her up and tearing up her alive. She's looking up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, "Please save me. Please help me. You're the only one who could save me. You're the only one who could protect me." Comes the morning. She's shaking in fear. She goes to the front door and the commander looks at her. "Faddal, enjoy." She starts walking. She looks up to Hashem. "I'm giving you everything. I belong to you. Protect me." And what happened was she walks all the way to the front gate and the dogs didn't budge. The dogs that were trained and meant to kill her messed up the first time and the second time. The commander was in utter shock, and he obviously had to keep the deal, and he tells her, come back inside, you obviously have divine protection. And he let her stay, and this is how the wife of Reb Chaim Sarna, a big Rosh Yeshiva, survived the Holocaust, and she lived well with a long life. We have to understand what happened here, Rabotai. Even though these dogs were trained by trainers and professionals and by the owner to kill on sight, it's not them who decide who they're going to kill or not kill. It's the Borei Olam. If Hashem tells them to kill and attack, they'll kill and attack. But in this case, with this Rebbetzin, God told these dogs, you're not going to budge, you're not going to attack, and you're going to go against your nature. And that's why they didn't budge and they didn't attack. So too the story of the snake in the Midbar. This is what Chazal is telling us. That a snake doesn't have the choice to kill or not kill. A snake, a venomous snake, is trained to kill. That's his nature. But the Borei Olam, the one above, he's the one that decides if the snake is going to kill or is not going to kill. And that's why the Pasuk and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, whoever looks up to me, looks up to the serpent, looking up to me, the Borei Olam, and looking up to Abba Shabbat Shamayim, protect me, take care of me, they're going to be taken care of. But we have to understand, it's not only snakes, it's not only dogs. It's also when it comes to human beings that are like dogs. Human beings that want to destroy us. Human beings that have things against us, whether it's in a day-to-day life, or whether it's ammunition, whether it's a weapon, whether it's a bomb, it doesn't matter what it is. HaKadosh Baruch Hu controls the world, and He decides if this person is going to kill, if this person's going to bite, or not. It doesn't make a difference. So we have to realize what life we're living in. What is the zechut we have to have Abba Shabbat Shamayim protecting us? And we just have to look up to Him and say, Abba, just like the Rebbetzin did, I'm giving you my life. I'm going to keep Shabbat for you. I'm going to put on tefillin for you. I'm going to have a family for you. I'm going to keep kashrut. I'm going to learn your Torah. All we need is just a little protection. And Hashem's going to give us everything we want. He's going to make sure we get married. He's going to make sure we have a family. He's going to make sure we stay healthy. Because even if in the world, animals or human beings could attack in any way, shape or form, but it's ultimately up to the Borei Olam. He could decide. He changes nature because He is nature, Rabotai. So we have to realize this. We have to realize from the story. We have to realize the story of the Midbar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu just tells Am Yisrael, just look up to me. Look up to me and I'll protect you. And Be'ezrat Hashem, if we do this, and if we look up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and tell Him, just take care of me and I'll give you Torah, I'll give you mitzvot, I'll give you Shabbat. We're going to see the Geula very soon. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.